That's too many. The premier told me. Yeah, exactly. Turn it out. Okay. Now we have 8 million liters of wastewater in Truro, Nova Scotia that council wanted to dump in the Bay of Fundy, but after a public outrage, they refused to do it. So there's 8 million liters stuck. They don't know what to do with it. You have an opinion on that?
Well, my opinion is that that wouldn't take place in New Brunswick. The new rules that we have for industry clearly state that any proponents of any kind of development have to have a wastewater management plan before they get any kind of permits whatsoever. That plan has to detail what the characterization of the water is, what they're going to do with it, how they're going to transport it, how it's going to be treated, and that's all has to be up to the standards set by the Environment Department in New Brunswick. And if there's no solution to any of that, any of those items, and the plan doesn't meet the standards that the Environment Department demands, then people won't get a permit.
Do you think the water would pass the standard if it was here? That water that's in Truro right now?
The water that I believe is in Truro, I'm not sure if it's been treated yet or not. But the reality is that that's what these type of facilities do, is that they take the water, they do the characterization, they put it through the process to remove whatever needs to be removed out of the water to get the finished product to a standard that's acceptable by the environmental laws in whatever jurisdiction you're dealing with to be released back into the environment. That's what the whole process is. That's the business that those companies do. That's why. So in DeBert, that's a situation where the engineer of the county had approved it, and then it was council, and based on, from what I understand, was some public pressure, said, well, we're going to reverse that now. So, I mean, they're going to have to come up with a solution, but that's a situation where our rules won't let it get to that point. You have to have the solution, you have to have the plan before you get the permit.
Would it be a good idea to wait to see what they're going to do with that water, put shale gas on hold in this province, and see what the oil company is going to do with that?
How many times have I told you? Basically there's no activity that's going to take place. There's plenty of time until next year is when we believe that the first shale gas wells will be drilled in, and those are just exploratory wells. So you've got a situation where there's plenty of time to resolve these issues, but again, you're not going to get to a point where there's water being produced without a plan to deal with it.
So if Nova Scotia says we'll take do you want the 8 liter water? Maybe we could have a better way to get rid of it. Would you say yes?
No, that's business that has to deal with that. But again, businesses have to fall in line with the standards that we set. We're not going to get into the wastewater treatment business as a government. What we do is we set the policies and the standards that the industry has to meet.
As minister, would it be a good idea for you to go have a look? Maybe you could even ask me if you could listen to me from here to Truro, that we can go and come back and just have a look at it, give you an idea of what could be a problem.
Well, no, I've seen these type of facilities down in the States and different tours that I've done, and they're very professional operations. Their standards are met with the regulations that are laid out by the jurisdictions that they are operating in. And it's just, it's one of those things where in Colchester County, I mean, they made a decision on it. I'm not sure, obviously their engineers felt it was fine, and then the councillors said no. I think that's what we're trying to say.
They listen to the public.
Well, we're listening. We're going to be basically making our decisions on science, and that's what the whole aspect of what our regulations are all about. You have to make sure you've got a plan, you've got to follow the laws, you've got to follow all the standards that are set. Because if you don't have a plan to do that, and if you don't do it, you're not going to get a permit.
That's good. I'll let you go.